Hey guys, Giselle again. Today we're going to be doing something different. I had a creative idea today. What an amazing, shocking, wonderful discovery for me. Today we are going to be taking the autism test. And honestly, the only reason why I really want to do this so bad is because I saw Hassan Piker do it. And anything to be closer to my future husband. This is the part where I'm gonna edit a picture of myself, like, on, like, a wedding invitation, and it's me and Hassan. And then in 20 years, I'm gonna look at this joke and I'm gonna go, wow, bitch, you were fucking crazy. I have two disclaimer here is actually, one, it's very windy today. Florida is having its one and only 2-week long cold front that it gets every year. So for 2 weeks, it's not going to be swamp ass hot. So, it's gotten very windy lately. And because of that, I don't even know what it's called, but I don't even know if, like, other people have this. This may just be, like, a southern thing. Like, it's like a wind turbine kind of thing. I don't even know what to call it. It's like, it's a router kind of, like, I literally don't know what it's called. But when the wind kicks up, it starts going, you know? And it's really fucking loud. So I'm really sorry if that's in the background. Like, I'm gonna try and make the audio as good as possible, but I really can't promise anything. And it was really cloudy and the sun has just came out. So I think it's God smiling upon me. The second disclaimer that I need to make is actually a serious disclaimer. I would just like to say, before we start this test, that I do not think I have autism. I've never been diagnosed with autism. I never claimed or will claim to have autism. I think that getting an autism diagnosis is something that is very serious and very, like, life-altering for a lot of people. I get that this is very important for a lot of people, so I'm in no way trying to make this, like, a joke or trying to make, like, a lighthearted humor out of it. I'm just taking this test because why not? Entertainment. In recent years, I feel like a lot of people, like, being autistic has almost become, like, a trend of some sort. I see people all the time on TikTok and shit trying to be autistic almost, if that even makes any fucking sense. And while it's good that we talk about these things and know what these things mean, I think it is getting to the point where it's getting incredibly overused. I'm saying all of this to say not everybody is autistic. And I think a lot of people have seen that it's, like, been a growing popularity to talk about recently in the media, and a lot of people have almost tried to see it as, like, a trend, and they're trying to, like, hop on this trend and trying to be on trend by being autistic, and that doesn't sit right with me at all. It's not a joke, it's not funny, it's not like that at all. And I just want to make it very clear that I'm not trying to be one of those people. I think those people are fucking weird. I think there's something fucking wrong with those people. If you want to, like, make a trend out of having a disability, like, that's fucking weird. Don't be weird to autistic people. Don't be weird about autism. Don't make it weird. Just, educate yourself. Know what you're talking about before you come online and try and, like, self-diagnose yourself with autism, because that might be funny for some people, but for other people, like, it's been their entire lives. Anyway, that was just my fucking very long disclaimer. We know I love to yap. So let's just get the fuck into it. We're taking the RADS R Embrace Autism test on embraceautism.com. Let's look at the scores. The scoring ranges from 0 to 240. A score of 65 indicates that you are likely autistic, and a score of less than 65 means you're likely not autistic. It's interesting that there's a difference between females and males. Actually, no, that does make sense, because I've seen in a lot of research that, like, females are just, like, they're more socially aware, so, like, they're more likely to be able to, like, pick up on social traits and stuff. So that kind of does make sense, which it's strange that happens. Like, that makes me wonder, like, is that genuinely something that's just programmed into females, like, genetically, or is it just because men are fucking stupid? I wonder. Let's say, what do we think my score is gonna be? I want to guess. I feel like it's going to be higher than a neurotypical person. I feel like for two reasons. Here's the two things that I feel like are really gonna be, like, are gonna make me sound like I have it. The first one is probably gonna be, like, social things. I'm a very blunt person, and I'm very, like, Like, I understand how society functions, I understand how to function in society, but it doesn't make sense to me why people, like, act certain ways. If it was up to me, I would never act the way that a lot of people act, because I just think that it's fucking stupid. I guess I'm just, like, overly blunt, and people will tell me that that's being mean, but I don't think I'm being mean, I think I'm telling the truth. And if you can't handle the truth, then why would you ask me for my opinion? That's one of the things that I feel like I relate to when I hear people with autism talking about that. They're like, I say things and people get offended because they asked me for my answer. Like, I don't fucking get that. Why'd you ask me for my answer if you didn't want to know? My second thing, I think it's definitely going to be sensory issues. I definitely have sensory issues. Like, that's 100%. I won't eat certain foods if they look weird. Like, textures is a really fucking big thing for me. Sounds, like, I can't stand certain sounds. It'll, like, make me want to, like, gnaw my skin off. Like, certain textures, like, if I feel the texture, like, my day is ruined. You know what texture I fucking hate? Fleece. Let me tell you, no, because there's two types of fleece. There's good fleece, and there is bad fleece. Okay, let me, like, explain, like, good fleece. Good fleece is, like, the long furry fleece, right, that like the good quality blankets are made out of. The bad fleece is that really short, like almost like itchy type of fleece. Bro, if I'm like walking through the store and I see a blanket, I'm like, oh my gosh, soft blanket, I want to touch it, and it's that fleece, the rest of my day is fucking ruined. Like, it's like I have full body reactions to touching certain things. So that I can definitely understand. So I think that, for the most part, I'm gonna be relatively scoring normally. I think it's just gonna be those two factors that are going to put me a little bit higher. I guess we should actually, get the fuck into it. So yeah, I feel like if they're saying that right here it's like 91 for an average female, I'm thinking I'm gonna be at like 100. Okay. Here's the actual text. Number 1, I'm a sympathetic person. That's like... We're off to a bad start. That's really interesting of a question. I don't know. I do know. No, like, I am, but it's like, okay, I'm the type of person where if you ask me a question, I'm gonna ask 100 side questions about it until I can decide my answer. Like, I need to know everything about it. Are they saying sympathetic as in, like when you look and you see something sad happened to, like, someone you don't know, like, you feel sad for them? Because that, like, definitely, but are they saying sympathetic as in, like, you're sympathetic for, like, everybody, like, no matter, like, how small their problem is, like, you just feel bad about, like, everything? But I guess not, because they're saying I'm a sympathetic person, and I feel like if they meant, like, that you're overly sympathetic, they would have just said I'm an overly sympathetic person. So just sympathetic in general, like, yes, I do have, emotion. So, true now and when I was younger. I often use words and phrases from movies and television in conversation. Yes, like, does not everyone not do that? Just quoting. I'm often surprised when others tell me I have been rude. Yeah, I can see that. There's sometimes when I know, it like depends on like the type of person, because like I feel like I just get told more often that I'm just too blunt. But like not necessarily rude, but sometimes people tell me like, oh, that was rude, and I don't get why that was rude. I'll say yeah. Sometimes I talk too loudly or too softly and I am not aware of it. All the time. I'm constantly told that I need to speak up and that I talk way too quietly. And I think you guys are being deaf. I often don't know how to act in social situations. Definitely. I only like to talk to people who share my special interest. Yeah. I don't really like talking to people that aren't like me, in all honesty. I won't say I don't know. Because it says I only like to talk to people. It's like, I mean, there are situations where I talk to other people and I don't necessarily hate it, but if it was like a preference between someone who is similar to me and someone who isn't, like, I'd definitely say someone who is similar to me. So I guess that is true now. There isn't like a kind of option. It's just like it is true or it's never true. But sometimes it's true. I focus on detail rather than the overall idea. Yeah, I would say I'm pretty, like, detail-oriented. Like, I notice things that other people don't a lot. I feel like I'm answering very true to all of these, and I don't know if that's, like, a good thing or not. I always notice how food feels in my mouth. This is more important to me than how it tastes. I'm gonna say true when I was younger. It bothers me a lot less now, again, but this is another, like, sometimes thing, because sometimes definitely, but not all the time. I miss my best friends or family when we are apart for a long time. Can I just say something really fucking crazy that's gonna make me seem like a psychopath? Like, when I'm, like, away from a person, I will so genuinely forget that they exist. If I don't talk to a person every day, especially if I don't see them. Now that I've, like, just graduated, like, high school, like, for the past, like, year that I've been out, I obviously haven't been seeing my friends every day. And so genuinely, like, for me, it's like I forget that I have friends. I forget that I have people that I can reach out and talk to that, like, want to associate with me, because it's like, if I don't see you every day, like, I stop, like, this is gonna sound so bad, I stop caring about people if I don't see them. It's really hard for me to maintain, like, relationships with people, especially when I don't see them every day. Like, I could never be in an online relationship. Just a purely, like, romantic online relationship, I know I could never fucking do that. So genuinely, like, if I had to be online with a person, and that was our whole relationship, was just seeing them, like, over a little screen, you're not real. Like, unless you were... unless... Sometimes I say shit and I'm like, damn, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, unless you're standing in front of me, you're not real. So, yeah, I could never be in an online relationship. So, I miss my best friends or family when we are apart for a long time. It's a sometimes thing, but this time, the sometimes is leaning more towards no. So I'm gonna say never. But, like, if my family is watching this, please don't. Please click off of this video. You don't need to be looking at this shit. Get out. But if you're still here for some reason, you backstabbing bitches, then I do miss you guys. I just am only capable of missing you guys, like, 3 hours before I'm actually on my way over to see you. But I do. I'm just leaning more towards no. Sometimes I often offend others by saying what I am thinking, even if I don't mean to. I think that's true only now, and I feel like the only reason why it wasn't true when I was younger is just because I was so shy. I wasn't gonna tell people what I was thinking, no matter what. I only like to think and talk about a few things that interest me. Definitely true. Small talk is so genuinely, like, soul crushing. I fucking hate small talk. I don't know how people can have small talk with a person for, like, hours on end. Like, that's so terrible for me. I work at a fast food place, and genuinely, all customer service is just having bullshit conversations with people that you don't actually give a fuck about. Like, this is one of the main reasons why I feel like I want to move to the UK, because it's like, I hate how deep American culture is to, like, pretending like you give a fuck about people's, like, boring ass lives. In American culture, it's so custom. You walk into a store, somebody greets you when you first walk in. You get up to the register, they greet you at the register. Like, you have to have a whole conversation with them. I don't want to do any of that shit. I just want to, like, buy my food, buy my product, whatever I came in there to get, and then leave. I don't understand, like, why the fuck we as Americans have this, like, chatty ass culture. Number 14, I'd rather go out to eat in a restaurant by myself than with someone I know. That's never true. I do a lot of things by myself, but going out to eat is, like, the one thing that I wouldn't want to do by myself. If I'm gonna eat by myself, I'd rather just, like, be alone in my room. I don't want to eat, like, in a restaurant by myself. Like, that for some reason, that is too weird for me. I've been told that I am clumsy or uncoordinated my whole life. Yep. Others consider me odd or difficult my whole life. I am very sensitive to the way that my clothes feel when I touch them. Oh my god, how they feel is more important to me than how they look. The first part is true as fuck. I hate when I'm just, like, chilling and then I'll get really, like, overwhelmed, and then all of a sudden I can, like, feel my clothes on my body. And this is just one of those things that, if you know, you know. You can put on clothes and you can be wearing them the whole day, but then out of nowhere, like, you can feel your clothes touching your body. And it's like, they're, like, trapping you. So if it was just that first sentence, it would be, like, incredibly true. But how they feel is more important than how they look. That is incredibly untrue for me. I will suffer. I will suffer for a fit. So because of that second part, I have to say never true, because I've always been a fashionista. Ever since I was a kid, I've been legit. I like to copy the way certain people speak and act. It helps me appear more normal. I do notice that I do this, but not to try and be more normal. Like, I think it's honestly jealousy. And I'll do this with like friends too. It's not even necessarily jealousy in like a hateful way. It's just like jealousy like a wow, I wish I was more like them way. I've definitely stolen mannerisms and characteristics from people that I've just kind of like admired. And I've definitely done that my whole life. It can be very intimidating for me to talk to more than one person at the same time. It's intimidating for me to talk to like honestly anyone. I feel like so many of these questions are just like a sometimes kind of thing. I'm gonna say never true, because if I'm gonna get intimidated by one person, then I'm gonna get intimidated by the group too. Like, it's not like the amount of people that's gonna intimidate me, it's really just like people. So it's really just gonna depend on the situation that I'm in. I have to act normal to please other people and make them like me. No, I know I'm a little bit weird and I've never really tried to hide that. Meeting new people is usually easy for me. Definitely never true. I get highly confused when someone interrupts me when I'm talking about something I'm very interested in. I don't get confused. I get upset because I'm a yapper and I really like yapping. And I get upset because I want to finish what I have to say. I like having a conversation with several people, for instance, around a dinner table at school or at work. I genuinely feel like it's easier to talk in a group than it is to talk one-on-one if you're talking to people that you don't know. Because it's like, if you're in a group, it's not all on you. Sorry, I'm sick. You can probably hear my voice. If you're talking to a group, it's not like all on you to keep the conversation going. But if it's just one-on-one, then it's like it's half your job, half the other person's job. So I think like talking in a group with people that I don't know is probably easier. But it's also harder for me to like inject myself into the conversation because I feel like somebody's gonna interrupt me. But I'll say, I think when I was younger, that wasn't the case. But I'll say true. Some ordinary textures that do not bother others feel very offensive when they touch their skin. Definitely. And then it changes too. I remember like, I used to hate the texture of jeans. Denim was like, I really didn't like pants in general. Like, I fucking hated pants. I'm so claustrophobic, and pants made me like, they triggered my claustrophobia. But like, there were certain pants that I could do it for a few hours. I had to like train myself into doing it. But jeans, I fucking hated jeans with a passion. Like, jeans like genuinely made me want to cry. Like, that's how much like I despised jeans. And my mom would like make me wear jeans when it would get cold, and I would cry. I would cry, and like I would sit there and I'd be like in such a bad mood like the whole day because I had to wear jeans, and I fucking hated wearing jeans. I get extremely upset when the way I like to do things is suddenly changed. It's the extremely word that's getting me, because I do get upset when things get changed, but I wouldn't say extremely upset. So it's just like mildly infuriated. Probably true when I was younger. When I was younger, I probably would get very upset. I have never wanted or needed to have what other people call an intimate relationship. True as fuck. True now. True now specifically. And this probably has nothing to do with like autism or anything like that. This is definitely just simply a me in this place that I'm in right now thing. I want to do so much stuff. And like the idea that I would have to like get permission and like tell people what I'm doing. Like, I don't want to have to like tell people that I'm doing things. I just want to go do them. And I definitely don't feel the need to have I don't feel like the need to have a relationship, and I haven't for a very long time. It's just really strange to me, people that like need to be in relationships. That's always been very weird to me, because I'm like, why would you voluntarily be with a person that you, in all honesty, don't even like that much over being alone? Why would you not want to be alone? I'm hearing it. No, I heard it, guys. You don't need to... I heard it. You don't need to tell me. It is difficult for me to start and stop a conversation. I need to keep it going until I'm finished. True as fuck. Sometimes the sound of a word or a high-pitched noise can be painful for my ears. Is that not true for everybody? Sometimes I get this ringing sound in my ears. I feel like it follows me all the time. And it's not like tinnitus. It'll be like in the walls. I'm an understanding type of person. Not really. I'm understanding when it's reasonable to be understanding. So in that sense, I'll say true. I do not connect with characters in movies and cannot feel what they feel. Never true. I fucking impose myself in characters. If I can't see a character like myself in a show, I don't want to watch it. I cannot tell when someone is flirting with me. I think everybody's flirting with me. To be fair though, they normally are. I can see in my mind exact details and things when I'm interested in it, of course. Bro, when they say, like, do that, like, test thing where you close your eyes and you can, like, envision an apple, like, perfectly, like, I'm telling you, I can envision it, like, perfectly. I've always been able to do that. When I feel overwhelmed by my senses, I have to isolate myself to shut them down. I feel like it helps me to be by myself, but a lot of time I don't have that option, so I've had to learn to just figure it the fuck out when I'm surrounded by people. I like to talk things over with my friends. Yeah, what the fuck kind of... Yeah, obviously. I feel very comfortable with dating or being in social situations with others. No! I do certain things with my hand over and over again, like flapping, twirling sticks, or waving things by my eye. Does, like, tics count? Because, like, I have this tic where I, like, tense up my hand. But I don't think they're really talking about, like, tics, perhaps. I think they're more talking about, like, stimming sort of stuff. I do kind of do that, though. Twirling sticks or strings. I play with my hair, like, all the fucking time. Like, I'm constantly twirling my hair. So, twirling sticks or strings. I do that all the time, though. So, maybe, I guess that is true. It's difficult for me to work and function in groups. Definitely true, because when people don't do things exactly the way that I feel like they should be done, it pisses me off really bad. And I would rather spend a lot of time doing everything by myself, or I would rather just let somebody else do everything. Or people need to do, like, their own allotted, like, section of work, and, like, it should not overcross. Like, I should be able to do my section exactly the way I want to do it, and then you do yours. And, like, that's your problem. You worry about that, right? I'm not gonna worry about it. Like, I'm gonna let that be your part, right? Because I don't like working together. I've always fucking hated working together. I fucking hate group projects. When I am talking to someone, it's hard to change the subject. If the person does so, I get upset and confused. No, I change the subject, like, on the drop of a dime. I can chat and make small talk with people. I mean, I can. I just don't want to. Sometimes things that should feel painful are not. Yeah. I'll say yeah. I'm considered a loner by those who know me best. That's probably pretty true. How to make friends and socialize is a mystery to me. True when I was younger. It calms me to spin around or rock in a chair when I'm feeling stressed. I think that would stress me out more, in all honesty. I like to be by myself as much as I can. I think that's true now. When I was younger, I really can't remember, honestly, when I was younger. When I was younger, I feel like I did like being by myself, honestly. But I feel like as I've gotten, like, older, like, I've somehow liked it even more. I keep my thoughts stacked in my memory like they're on a filing card, and I pick out the ones I need by looking through the stack and finding the right one or another unique way. That is very different. No, I don't think I've ever thought about it like that. I don't like to be hugged or hugged. Always been true. Fucking hate hugs. People tell me that I give too much detail. Definitely. I tend to point out other people's mistakes. In my head, I do. Out loud? No. But they didn't say out loud or in my head. They just said in general. They just said that you tend to point out other people's mistakes. Which I do. So, I guess true now. Like, I won't say it out loud. But just know that I'm thinking it. I'm judging you internally. Okay, before we click score, here are the meanings. Okay? 25 to 45, you are not autistic. 50 to 65, some autistic traits but likely not autistic. 65 to 90, the minimum score at which autism is considered. Okay. 90 to 130, strong indications of autism, although non-autistic individuals may score as high. 130, the mean score of autistic people, strong evidence for autism. 160, very strong evidence. 225, the maximum score autistic people required. And then 240, the maximum possible score. But that didn't really make sense because that last thing, it said that, like, an average neurotypical woman would be at, like, 90. So I don't really know. If we're going off of this score, I feel like I am somewhere, like, right, like, 70 maybe. I still don't think I'm autistic. I think I'm just a little odd sometimes. Okay, score. I still don't think I'm autistic. That I do not think I have autism. I've never been diagnosed with autism. Wait, okay, wait. Wait. Let's stop for a moment. Okay, wait. Because again, I'm still confused. Because remember all the way back up here, right? When it said this, right? And I said, oh, if the normal female is that, I'm probably gonna be like 100, right? What does this mean? You might ask, if the threshold score is 65 and no neurotypical person scored higher than 64 in the research, then why are the average neurotypical scores above 80? The answer is how the data is being collected. The table above is based on people taking the online test, which for research purposes starts with the question as to whether you are diagnosed with autism, suspect you're autistic or not autistic, but some people that answered the latter will, contrary to their own expectations, end up scoring in the autistic range. Due to this misattribution, their scores get counted as neurotypical scores despite scoring in the autistic range, thus skewing the results. In other words, the average neurotypical score, as reported by the online test, are almost certainly too high. The average scores you can find in the research literature are far more reliable, given that they are genuinely neurotypical as a control group. In the article below, you can find a table with average scores I have taken from the research literature. Let's go through this here. 105. Okay. There's two things that could happen right now. So it's saying that out of the women that they tested that said that they thought they weren't autistic, the average score was 90. But that doesn't necessarily mean that those women weren't autistic, they just think that they aren't. But they still could be, which does put me in quite the predicament. Because if there's a chance that a large majority of those women were in fact undiagnosed with autism, then that could mean that that group has a significant amount of autistic individuals in it being tested as neurotypical. Which could mean that basically that's a flat out fucking lie, and that could just fucking mean that you are in fact autistic. Either way, I definitely passed. Let's fucking say that. I definitely fucking passed. 105.